Alright, we have a thermostat housing with a block of aluminum welded to it that we're going to drill and tap. Has to be straight up and down. Is that straight?
Yeah. Okay.
Hold on. In order to tap a 1/8 thread, you're going to need 1132 size drill bit, a 1/8 27 NPT tap.
And here we go. We're going to put some gear oil on it. Put the gear oil on there.
Hold on. You got to tilt it up.
You don't want to go too far on the NPT threads. You don't want to go the full length of the tap. That'd be too much. And put the sensor in a little too deep.
Wow, those are nice threads there.
Now,
okay, we've got this tapped out. Here's my sensor.
you want the right amount of thread engagement. Like I said, the NPT tap, you can go too deep with it, or you can go not deep enough. Looks like you got good thread engagement. I'd be comfortable using it at that depth, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Alright, I'm going to leave it like that. So if you want to add an additional coolant sensor or a gauge in your car and still have your original gauge or idiot light, you can tap into your thermostat housing with a additional sensor, and you won't interfere with any of your factory gauges or sensors. Alright, here's my thermostat housing after I installed it and after I tapped out for the sensor. So that's going to go to my temperature gauge inside my car, and here's where for my old pressure sending unit. So I just teed it off, but I had enough room to do that, so there was plenty of room for the tee to spin around, which is fine. And you barely had enough room for the sensor to go on top of the tee and then the plug-in to go on top of that, but it was just enough room. But I couldn't do that in this case with my sending unit or sensor, so I went ahead and just drilled and tapped out a hole in my thermostat housing and put a aftermarket gauge sensor into that, and that should work good. Is it on?
Yeah, it's on. Wait,
already got it.
Okay.
Alright, I got thermostat housing with a block of aluminum on it. I got a thermostat housing with a block of aluminum welded on it. We're going to drill a hole, tap it to put a sensor in for a gauge.